Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have another episode of Evolve here. This was a very interesting premise that they did on this show. So we normally get three matches, sometimes get four, and I always say the golden rule is the three match thing. So they decided we're just gonna put two on here. It was kind of odd. I guess they had a lot of segments they wanted to jam pack on this one. I do think it really suffered for an overall show because the segments to me are always kind of like a grab bag. If it's not a character you like or not anything that you really care about, it kind of just isn't that great. And there was a lot of different stuff, like almost like too much to me. It felt kind of crazy when you only had two matches on it. So we'll just jump into it. So right off the bat, we had Mason Holiday versus Jintala. Jintala's already been released, unfortunately, so this match really had no teeth to it. Not to mention, like, it just kind of felt like a squash. I mean, Jintala was kind of like the big bad guy to losing the opportunity to take out Callie Armstrong to maybe being rebuilt at some point would have been a good idea, but instead just lose to Mason Holiday. I don't really understand the premise of here. Uh, I guess it was what they wanted to do. I just don't really understand it. I guess maybe Gintala was already going to be released, so they didn't have a problem with it, and they just wanted Mason Holiday to get a match. But this match for Mason Holiday was awful. Like, she just really didn't have any offense or do anything good. It was mainly Gintala. Most of her submissions and lock, they looked pretty good. I like what I saw with her. I probably put her higher than Mason Holiday, but I think that put this match maybe in a very low C. I just didn't really connect to it. I like Gintala a lot, so it was kind of like a goodbye match, I guess, to a certain extent, but wasn't really much to put, in there. Then we had Tate Wilder talking about being in this like historic triple threat with having the performance center person, a AAA star, and a WWE ID program person. He's the one that's just kind of the odd man out here. I don't really know why they gave him the segment. Once I knew they gave him the segment, though, I was like, oh man, this man's gonna win. So we're gonna put him in the Tate Wilder category, which is below D, basically the F tier. I don't understand the push of this man. I feel like that's the other thing to me is that when a company, especially a wrestling promotion, pushes somebody so heavily down your throat that it's just not it. Like, his segments do nothing. Like, I couldn't even remember half of what he even said because it was just this generic like cowboy BS, and he's just like, I'm the good guy. Well, cool. You're facing other baby faces, and it doesn't really do you any good. You beat Brooks Jensen in a strap match that was pretty awful in itself. Like, the momentum that this man has is so negative trending that, I mean, at least he gets his own category in this, super F tier Tate Wilder, I guess. I don't really know. Then we were introduced to the three prospects, or I guess the three new ID program people. Immediately, the one that I guess is either from the Nightmare Factory or at least been, somewhat to do with Cody Rhodes, the one on the left, got Brooks Jensen got in his face. I don't necessarily hate that. I do feel like it kind of puts it in a weird spot because you'd want the ID talent to get over and do something really great. But the issue is, like, then you're putting up against somebody that you kind of have, like, at the top or around the top of your Evolve stuff. And it just might not be the greatest rivalry to put them in there. I actually didn't know any of these three. I'm hoping when they announce the women, I might know some of them. I like watch some stuff to try to know, but honestly, I don't really know. I know one of them I think is from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, but I don't really remember much of his stuff. I think that was Eli Knight. I could be wrong on that, but I think overall the whole segment was just okay. I'd put it in C. I mean, I like to see the fresh faces. I think there could be some potential. Obviously, we got to see them in the ring. They each had a little bit of a promo. Wasn't anything too crazy. It was just, kind of hyped up thing. That's not up to them to really knock it out of the park. And like I said, with having Brooks Jensen come down, it was kind of a cool idea, but it only really highlights one and puts the other two just in this awkward position of standing up there and doing nothing. They should have been like, they really wanted to, they could have had Kiana Carver just come and destroy all of them and set up future, stuff. I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have just done it a little bit different. Then we have another Aaron Rowe promo. I'm at the point where it's just like, like, can we just get him a match at this point? Like, I think that's 3 weeks in a row that he's had a promo, and I don't think he's necessarily bad. I just don't think it's really anything like let it digest. Let us see this man like have a promo, then a match, then like a promo, maybe a week off, and then like stuff like that. But it's just promo, promo, promo. And the only time we've seen him is in tag match is, which I don't think they're gonna go forward with it. I think they want to try to use Marcus Mathers as like a singles person, but what do you do with this? So I'm gonna put it in D. It's just kind of like beating a dead horse at this point. Then we had Jackson Drake and Stevie talking. Stevie tells them that Kiana Carver is coming back. I really hope, because we know Stevie Turner is one of the releases, that like Jackson Drake plays it like he got her fired. Like, I think that would help his snively heel stuff work a lot better, because basically he just threatened to hit her, which I was just like, what? Like, what was that about? I mean, the Keanu Carver fan, I think, is going to be good. I think he legitimately has one of those abilities to come in there and probably be the second ever champion, but I guess we'll see. I put this in B. Again, it's just like there was just so many segments, and it was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing with all this? So I still think we had a little bit more before that match. We had the Wendy Chu one where she's in therapy, basically just discussing it. I'm not necessarily against it. Like, we've had it now 2 weeks in a row of very similar promos, so hopefully next week we get the match between her and Chantel Monroe, and they pull us another week. I think again you're just kind of losing it, because the problem is these are like 3 weeks of promos of like having a fight, and we get nothing in between that other than just something that they've probably recorded on the exact same day, and just have sat back for 3 weeks and done nothing. And I'm just not really feeling that. I like before the pacing was like promo match. Like, we really got into it and kind of digested what was going on pretty regularly. But now it's just like, oh, we're just going to have this long story where it comes down to the match. And if the match is awful, then it just kind of ruins the whole thing. I put this in B. It was slightly better than some of the other stuff. Then we had Chantel Monroe kind of had the rebuttal. I like her wrestling more than her talking and stuff. I think her promo skills are obviously, she's in Evolve to get better with that, but I think she's definitely needs to be really working on that. I think she's kind of behind the pace compared to like being. I would say she's like in the top 5, at least the top 10 women on the roster, and I don't think her promo skills are in the top 10 area right now. So I think she really, really needs to fix that. So I'm putting that down in D. Next up, we had the triple threat: Marshall Mathers versus Laredo Kid versus Tate Wilder. Like I said, with having that Tate Wilder feint earlier, I knew he was going to win, but honestly, this match easily could have been one of the best matches that we've ever seen if they got rid of Tate Wilder in this. And I know, again, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he didn't fit the style of what wrestling. Like, both of them, you had a luchador and a high flyer, and you had Tate Wilder, cowboy ass, and just let the two high flyers go, man. They could have had a great match. I do still think the match was a solid A, but man, I really think this could have been knocked out of the park. And it just kind of felt weird because like Laredo Kid seems wasted here to lose a match in Evolve where he's had a fairly decent TNA and a fairly decent AAA like repertoire of like being around in bigger matches, that this kind of felt beneath him to lose. And I don't get that part of the whole thing. Then we had another segment of the It's Golf thing with with him rating past superstars on the gold meter or the studometer. I honestly think this is one of the rare cases, like if you have a gimmick that or like bit that goes on week to week, it's at least better than anything because it's not really promoting the same stuff or just being like, this is my story. He's just doing a segment that has comedy in it, and it works pretty decent. I'm not a big fan of it. Like I don't really care. I just he's pretty decent on the mic. We've seen his in-ring stuff. It's not bad. So I'm gonna put this in C. I think like it's still cool that he's getting some time, and I think they've done it pretty well. Actually, I'll slide up to B. He's doing pretty good with it. It's just nothing crazy. Then we had the final part, which was Kendall Gray celebrating winning the champion. Congratulations to her. I'm glad she won. I think that was a really good call. And she had Carly Bright with her. Then she gets attacked by Panina, who I don't believe won LFG. I think she got second place. Yeah, she got second place. So I guess the second place people are going to go to Evolve like they did last season with Dramar Hampton and Gintala, which both of them got released. So again, I don't know if that's a good thing, but Panina attacked both of them and got the upper hand on the challenger, which I think is a good call to have the LFG person go in there and have it as her first match. Technically, it won't be her first match because she's already defended the title against Lash Legend on NXT, but for her first Evolve championship defense on Evolve, it's very fitting that it's Panina because they'll probably talk about it next week and then have a championship match probably in 2 weeks after that because we have Kiana Carver in 2 weeks. I don't know, man. That's the only problem with their pacing is that like a week to week thing works really well to their fame and like even a week to other week, but 3 or 4 weeks in between each storyline, especially with releases and like injuries and stuff, it just kills a lot of the stuff where it's just like okay, because like even we had a little bit of a adrenaline drip and Harley Riggins and his partner promo fan again about them having another match, but we've had that for like 3 weeks now, so like when is that match? Hopefully it's next week, but if it's not, then where does it go? So I'll put this also up in A. I think I'd put the show at a C plus. I wasn't really too impressed by anything. Obviously, our matches were kind of left out there. I think like if you're going to do 2 matches, those 2 matches have to hit it out of the park, and I think only one did. And I really feel like just minus Day Wilder. I don't know, man. I feel like it's hate at this point, but I don't even know. Like I try to keep an open mind and I try to like the dude and try to just like discount it from whatever he does, but I just don't see it. Like, I just don't. He doesn't see like he has that it factor to really survive here. And there's a lot of people on the roster I really like, and I feel like they don't get the time because we're pushing Tate Wilder, who's been on like every episode since he's debuted, and that is just insane compared to some of the other people that barely have been seen. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think about this Evolve episode. We got a bunch of videos this week for different stuff, so check those out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.